I don't know if anyone was on.
Right. So we are already live right now, Sophie.
Okay.
With we were having a little bit of technical difficulties for about 10 minutes, but we are live right now, and everything is good at our end. So uh, I'm very happy to welcome you back on the show for the second week. How are you, Sophie?
I am a little bit better now. I was starting to have a dizzy, then I we
Uh-huh.
kind of worked through that. I don't know if
Uh-huh.
any of it is caught was caught on if you recorded any of it.
No.
Okay, so basically we had some technical difficulties, and I thought how ironic because I couldn't see Sophie, I couldn't see Jazz, and
Yeah.
I couldn't, and earlier on a few minutes ago I couldn't find my glasses.
Uh-huh. Yes.
So I had to put on readers, and I thought, we'll wing it. It'll be fun. We'll just see what happens. Then, of course, I get on, and Jazz is not there anywhere to be found, and so we had to talk through phone. So I did a mini demonstration, thinking you were all because it says here everyone can see me. So I did a little mini demonstration with Teddy right here, um, as if though he couldn't see, and that was to happen live on stage or Teddy was
Mhm.
presenting or doing a show or something. So that is what you would do. A hypnotist would not ignore the elephant in the room. A
Uh-huh.
hypnotist would just weave it right into the show or into the session or into the classroom.
Uh-huh.
So in that case, um, I would say if I was a session, I would say, so Teddy, I understand you're not seeing very well today, and that's okay. So Teddy, I want you to relax. And although you think you can't see me right now, allow that to take you deeper into relaxation. That's right. Relax, steady. And although you can't see me, close your eyes anyway when you're ready. That's right, Teddy. Close your eyes and go deeper into relaxation. That's what I would do
Yeah.
if it was in real
Uh-huh.
time and that
And
happened.
and I think you actually kind of like did that, and because the moment we were like, okay, fine, we're having some technical difficulties, so we have to like just wing it up anyways, and we
Right.
let's just find some
Then all of a sudden it
alternatives,
just
and
evaporated the
suddenly
problem.
it just
Yeah, that's
all
what
of a
happens. That's
sudden
what you do.
it worked. So I kind of I actually felt it for a moment, like the kind of things that you actually practice in NLP. I actually felt it for a moment, and that was very spooky and interesting, interesting as well. So yeah, so Sophie, we have launched our campaign for Trump may win 2020 1 week ago, and we have also posted the latest post um, 2 days ago on the contest that we are running. So let's just take a brief time to explain about the contest that we are running. So we are offering the winner of the contest, probably a 30-minute NLP session, a free NLP session. So that's what we have planned so far. But it would be something that's related to hypnosis and NLP that they will be getting it for free for probably for a brief period of time from either you or any other qualified NLP practitioners. So this is an interesting opportunity for anyone out there who wants to just try what NLP or hypnosis is all about. They just want to like know it for themselves, right? So all they have to do is to actually follow three accounts on Instagram, tag three of their friends in the comment of the post itself on Instagram, and and that's it. They are qualified to actually join to enter the contest, and we will be randomly selecting winners at the end of the fourth week, and we will be announcing it at the end of the fourth week. So we have about 3 weeks to go. 3 weeks to go for them to still try their luck and enter the contest, right? So that's what the contest is all about. And coming to today's show, right? Today's show, we're going to talk about the different techniques that you have learned, or probably the different techniques that you used in your NLP sessions with people, or probably hypnosis. What kind of techniques you use? What kind of techniques that the politicians use, right? Especially in their campaigns. So let's talk about that. And something interesting really happened earlier on, because you were also able to like demonstrate a little bit with Teddy earlier on, and that was really interesting. So talk to us more about what are the techniques that you use, and how does it work in real life.
Okay. What comes to my right, and then again, remember, full disclosure, I have a cold, just came from the doctor, won't see me because they're afraid, and all of that. We had some technical difficulties, but we're winging it. So we're good. But what came to mind just now as you were asking the question is President Obama. I
Mm-hmm.
believe, again, this I don't know for a fact, but what
Mm-hmm.
I saw him in person, um, and I had front row seat. We had VIP invitation. So what he would do is when he said, for instance, he would say, like me.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're saying, Sophie, you like me would do this.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying to the audience is like me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So most people, politicians, attorneys, they use it. And it's not harmful, but when it gets harmful when you are leading people down a path where they cannot see or think straight. And when you play with their lives and throw out words that you've already tested that works on them, and they're willing to go out and do damage to other people because in name of politics. So
Uh-huh.
I consider that harmful. Um, One of the things I can see, I don't like to call names, but let me think of something I see people using right now. What if I were a politician? If
Mm-hmm.
I say when if you look, this is a little going a ways back in 2016
Mm-hmm.
when Hillary and
Mm-hmm.
President Trump had a debate. He started walking behind her,
Mm-hmm.
and in a it was very invasive because he was in her space.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a very aggressive. I don't know of anybody who would do that,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a very aggressive gesture. He's
Mm-hmm.
taller, he's physical, and he's walking around in her space. What
Mm-hmm.
I would do was I would acknowledge the elephant in the room, and I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't. I rather, in other words, you inoculate yourself against that, and he's very good at that.
Mm-hmm.
He brings things up and he sings it over and over to get the unconscious adapted to words like treason. He throws it out there and then repeats it, or fake news, repeats it. The unconscious become acclimated to those
Mm-hmm.
words. And in that case, what I would have done, being Hillary, I would have said, acknowledged the elephant in the room and said, dude, you're in my space. I know what you're doing. Cool it. Something like
Uh-huh.
that. You just don't pretend and go on talking like nothing happened, which is what
Uh-huh.
she did. But obviously, she had to be rattled. This
Mm-hmm.
big, tall man. her space.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very intimidating and desperate move, but it worked. He
Mm-hmm.
appeared to be the strong one, which in that
Mm-hmm.
case he physically was. But if a running mate now, these are the things they need to be aware of, and
Mm-hmm.
and know how to inoculate before it happens,
Mm-hmm.
because it's going to get very, very ugly and very, I'm afraid of what's going to
Mm-hmm.
happen. But you the contenders have to inoculate these things ahead of time, and if they
Uh-huh.
do happen, which they will, is to acknowledge it and move on,
Mm-hmm.
rather than allow it to. The thing is, one of the ways, not to change the subject, but one of the ways you
Mm-hmm.
want to disrupt someone, say for instance someone is bullying you in a
Mm-hmm.
group and belittling you. When they start talking, one way to disrupt them would be to cough or nod, or I mean cough or start laughing or something to throw them off their game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of thing you would do.
Mm-hmm.
That would just throw them off their game a little bit. Just the unconscious would just a little slightly go into trance, because
Mm-hmm.
they didn't expect that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you distract the conscious mind, you go automatically into a slight trance.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, if a gentleman, women have this to their advantage, quote
Mm-hmm.
unquote. This is what people say, um, because if a woman walks into a room and she is gorgeous and she's just she's knockout. Um, Oftentimes, guys would go into an automatic trance.
Uh-huh.
That's just a distraction. That's
Mm-hmm.
all it is. It's not the hocus pocus what we believe it to be.
Uh-huh.
It happens all the time. One of
Uh-huh.
the things I see things daily. It's just way of life. One
Uh-huh.
of the things I see commercials doing now,
Uh-huh.
which they're very effective. I think when one was Calvin Klein, they would put a black image, just a picture,
Mm-hmm.
and it would stop people and think, what's going on, what's going to happen now, and then they would put the words Calvin Klein or jeans or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If it's awesome, because all of a sudden, if you're watching TV, the tendency is to go away for the commercial, or turn it down, or
Mm-hmm.
turn your head, or start talking. But when you see a screen with
Mm-hmm.
nothing on it, you would stop and take
Mm-hmm.
notice. So it's just everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
It's no way around it. But to be aware of it would be useful for the politicians now that are the
So
contenders.
yes, so it's actually the kind of repetitions that
Yes, he uses it. Our president uses it very, very well and effective. I'd say I don't know how many people are in trance, but I'd say definitely they're in trance,
Mhm.
because he would throw a word out there like, besides treason, I've heard him say, enemy of the people.
Mhm.
CNN or CNBC or whomever that he doesn't like,
Mhm.
and like those are words too that people start to
Mhm.
become in acclimated to, and they
Mhm.
hear it enough that it becomes part of their consciousness.
Mhm. Right. So now how do you actually, like, before you even go into that state of you know taking in everything that a person starts telling you, right? How do you actually stop yourself from trusting whatever that the other person is saying? So how do you
How do
actually
you
draw
keep
that?
yourself from that's a
Yes.
very interesting question.
Uh-huh.
For one, I think awareness, because I don't feel anyone can do that to me, because I'm
Uh-huh.
aware.
Uh-huh.
So awareness is the key. Although if it's someone you trust,
Uh-huh.
say you go to someone for, again, we'll say stop smoking or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
then you trust that person. You're a participant. That's a different case.
Mm-hmm.
So you're participating and you're allowing them to guide you
Mm-hmm.
to wherever you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
However, if it's a covert,
Mm-hmm.
then being aware would be useful because you know exactly what they're doing when they're doing it. So
Mm-hmm.
you would stop. I had a
Mm-hmm.
situation once where someone was hypnotizing me and everything was going fine. It was great. And it was over the phone. And I might have been paranoid maybe, but as he was taking me down, asking me to relax, and he was describing each part of my body to relax.
Mm-hmm.
And when he got to the area that was not comfortable, I just
Mm-hmm.
within my mind just stopped. So we know, I believe some people don't think you can stop it. I do think that we can just say that that's enough. I don't want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're aware that these things are being said and being done covertly,
Mm-hmm.
then you know. Honestly don't think it could be, unless I'm a participant, unless I already trust the person.
Mm-hmm. Right. So
Yeah.
the next question would be like, for those who are in trance, right? For those who have already started taking in the words that, politicians or even anybody else that who are trying to like brainwash them, um, who are already in that situation, how do they actually like? I know this is a little bit difficult, but still, is there a possibility for them to start looking at the reality and come out of it?
It's
What do they
difficult.
have?
It's difficult. I don't
Uh-huh.
think for those that are in deep trance, um following Trump, Trump followers,
Uh-huh.
they will, I hate to say it, but they put it this way, they have killed before. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how serious it is. And I hate to say that, but
Mm-hmm.
um it's difficult. And I'll give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
You probably have not heard of Nexium.
Mm-hmm.
Nexium was a self-help empowering group,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of the movie stars and very powerful people
Mm-hmm.
um, were attracted to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I forgot the name of the lady. I have it all on my computer because I would
Mm-hmm.
follow the case, the court case. It was in court. Um, it started with a lady who had studied hypnosis and NLP for 25
Mm-hmm.
years. So, and then she met his name was his name is anyway. If you look up Nexium, you'll see it's open. It's on the course, so it's public
Mm-hmm.
records. She they got together. They started this group, and it was very successful. And eventually, it got to the point where he went nuts, I think, and he became too powerful, I think. And eventually, people started branding themselves with his name,
Mm-hmm.
and then people tried to intervene. They would give him all
Mm-hmm.
his money, everything, and the families, once they got a whiff of what was going on, and these were movie stars, they started to speak out, and some still would not. They wouldn't turn. A
Mm-hmm.
few did, but it took a long time to break it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I believe the court case is still going on. So that's one example of how it can be used to manipulate and hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
To the point I mean, people were branding themselves with iron.
Uh-huh.
So it can be harmful if you're not careful. That's why I say, and I repeat again,
Uh-huh.
be mindful who you share these secrets with.
Mm-hmm.
I've for many years I never did tell it or share with anyone, and I was suspicious of people who were
Mm-hmm.
indiscriminately sharing it because it's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Mm-hmm.
my first time sharing it live, but I was a
Mm-hmm.
closeted I was a
And
closeted hypnotist and NLP practitioner because I used it for myself,
uh-huh,
to help myself change in ways that I needed to change.
uh-huh. And I think these techniques have been used by a lot of salesperson, a lot
Oh
of
yeah, salespeople. Oh yeah,
salespeople. Talk about salespeople because I kind of like noticed this trend that salespeople are using this NLP practices a lot, like a lot more than the other people. I mean, probably they are interested, like the other
yeah,
maybe interested in hypnosis, but not as much as the salespeople who are actively looking for new customers and new sales, new products being launched, and they want to go and look for new people
exactly.
for sales, right? So, uh, talking about that, right? So we as consumers, right? I think we are always being, exposed to these threats. I mean,
Yes, yes.
it can be good. It can be
It
good.
can be good. It can be good for the most part. I don't know too many people who use it
Uh-huh.
in
Yes.
a negative way.
Mhm. Yeah,
But it
but
can be used if you get someone that's egotistical, narcissistic. Yeah, they can use it for their own personal benefit.
exactly. Right, exactly. So talking about the negative parts of it, right? So talking about negative parts of it, um, do you believe that it's in order to avoid going into deep trance, do you believe that um, uh, having a very high values about what we want in life, and also about like you said, being very aware, having a very high awareness about what's going on around yourself, do you think these are the basic measures that one can ensure take in order to avoid being duped into all kinds of negativity, or probably the lies that people are telling out there? So yeah.
I wouldn't say values. I wouldn't because what can happen is that once somebody discover your values,
Mm-hmm.
then that's where they would begin to work. However,
Okay.
again, I will say that it's not often used for the bad. My teacher, the one
Mm-hmm.
I think of,
Mm-hmm.
and I participated for a few years with his group. He emphasizes, and in fact, I think he make you sign that
Mm-hmm.
is as a force to be used as a force for good.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to emphasize that it's not often used, but humans can become greedy and powerful and want more power, and it can happen. Where I've seen it used, I think I mentioned it to you on the last, a lot in infomercials.
Mm-hmm.
And if you if you get an infomercial or the YouTube where they won't let you log out,
Uh-huh.
you can start looking for the embedded commands. Oftentimes they're in there. I've seen them.
Uh-huh.
So that
Uh-huh.
is why they won't let you log off and go straight to the
Mm-hmm.
shopping cart, because they need you to they need to start all the embedded commands
Mm-hmm.
so that by the time you get to the end of the video, which is usually 30 minutes to 45 minutes long, they have you already.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So yes, but I watch them. The funny thing is, the one person I'm thinking of, I buy the products because the product
Mm-hmm.
is good.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned that I watched my sister-in-law listening to it, and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't tell her because I didn't want to cloud her, you know, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
want her to not buy the product.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew I could see what was happening, all the embedded commands, and I was wanting to say so badly. Do you realize? But at the time, she didn't know that I know this. I never
Uh-huh.
told. Only my children knew, and my fellow
Mm-hmm.
NLP practitioners and hypnotists know.
Right.
Anyway,
So the next interesting question is that since we are also giving out free a brief free session for the winner of the contest, right? So they might be wondering, like, what can I do with NLP, or probably what can I do by knowing hypnosis and NLP techniques? How is this going to be beneficial for me as an individual? I don't have a business and I'm just a normal person. So how do I actually incorporate all this in my own life? So tell us about that.
in my case, it was unusual. Most people use it in their business, or they start a hypnosis practice, or a
Mm-hmm.
coaching business, something
Mm-hmm.
along those lines. Or an attorney may improve their their client relationship, or the court cases. My case, I simply wanted to learn and benefit myself, and
Mm-hmm.
as a result, it sort of spill over into some friends, and occasionally I will help someone who might be. I would have to just feel it on the spur of
Mm-hmm.
the moment. I've had people ask me now, and I would look at them and say no. If they know, there are very few people who know. And there are times when I said, okay, let's do this, and I would
Mm-hmm.
do it on a conversationally. I wouldn't do a
Mm-hmm.
straight up trance. I would do a conversation. I would do a conversation, and do some NLP techniques with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll give you an example. One lady, and I can't even remember her name at the moment, but this was
Mm-hmm.
maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago. We were conversing, and she told me about her marriage. It was going downhill, and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And she was very upset, and I said to her, I'll tell you what, you know first of all, we were traveling together,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, when you go home, and I could speak from it from my own experience too, that this happened to me when I was married. You anticipate a bad scene, so
Mm-hmm.
you work yourself up. You're already anticipating it's going to be a bad mood. You're going to argue. It's just you just anticipate the worst, because you're now anchored to those negative
Mm-hmm.
things that have happened in the past. So I explained to her, to, instead of working herself up in the car or wherever on your way home. In my case, I would work myself up before I got home, and sure enough, it would come to pass. And I said, just think about the good.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the times when it was good,
Mm-hmm.
when you first met, or, I gave her examples, and I said, do that before you go home and go into the house, and you'll be amazed.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw her about 2 weeks later, and she ran me down into the bathroom and said, you would not believe, Sophie, what happened. My marriage just turned around. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even expect that from her. It's just a simple conversation. So
Mm-hmm.
it works.
Mm-hmm.
That was just a simple technique. I didn't do any hypnosis or anything. It's just
Mm-hmm.
anchoring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
I
So yeah.
taught her about anchor.
So awesome. So um we have shared quite a bit of how NLP is being used by various people, from politicians to a salesperson, to how it can benefit all of us as an individual, and how we can use it either for good or for bad, right? So,
Hmm.
so before we end the session for today, right, I would like to emphasize that we have this giveaway and contest, especially contest going on, which is on our Instagram, on International Book Promotions Instagram page. What the winner is going to get is they're going to walk away. One lucky contest winner is going to walk away with a 30-minute free NLP session. We will be disclosing who the NLP practitioner that will be assisting the winner for this later on. But this is the whole idea of the contest. And also, not to forget, we have a free first chapter of Trump May Win 2020 book, which is available on the website. All you have to do, all the viewers, the readers out there, all you have to do is to go to sssinternationalbooks.com. You sign up for the newsletter and you will be sent an email automatically with the first chapter. So you can read the first chapter for free, absolutely for free. And we will also notify you once the latest version of the book is live on Amazon. So that's one thing that you can do, which is to keep in touch with us, choose to keep in touch with us so that we can continue to provide you the latest information about the book. And for you to be eligible to enter this contest, you need to actually follow three Instagram accounts, which is the first one is Aspire to Inspire You to Wake Up account. Second one is Trump May Win 2020, and the third one is International Book Promotion. And the second one is you have to tag three friends who would be interested in this book or the course in the Instagram post in the comment section below, and also subscribe to the newsletter on sssinternationalbooks.com. So it's as easy as that. So once you do that, you are automatically eligible to join the contest. And at the end of the fourth week, we will announce the winner of the contest. So we're going to use commentpicker.com. So this is going to be we do not have any prejudice. We are not selecting winners randomly on our own, but we use a software to pick the winner. So we will announce the winner at the end of the fourth week. So this is what's going on right now for the campaign of Trump May Win 2020 book. And so before we actually end our session for today, the live session for today, Gloria, do you have an idea of when the book is probably going to be ready? Do we have an update on that?
It's almost ready. The editor right now is working on that. We had a little bit of, well, I've been away, so we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but I think she should be done within a month. I don't know if it'll be up within a month, but I think she will. In fact, I think she'll be done even earlier. But having it up on Kindle or ebook and hard copy, my guess it would be within 6 weeks. I don't even think that long. So,
Awesome. Right. So it's actually about less than 2 months from now, right? So they can expect the whole book to be up. And it would be good if they could catch up with the first chapter first for free anyways, right? So all they have to do is just to sign up for the newsletter at sssinternationalbooks.com, and they will be getting an email from us with the first chapter. So we are very thrilled to hear the feedback from readers out there. So yeah, so that's the exciting thing that's going on right now for our campaign at this point of time. So Sophie, do you have anything else to actually tell the viewers out there for today's session for this week?
Well, if you're interested in hypnosis, my favorite part of the whole NLP, there's so many strategies and so many techniques, is hypnosis. If you're interested in NLP or hypnosis, this is a side benefit. We don't have it on the newsletter, But Dr. Bandler, I don't know if he's here already, but he's coming to US, and
Uh-huh.
that was one of the co-founders.
Mm-hmm.
And look up NLP International
Mm-hmm.
or that Richard Bandler. That's just a
Mm-hmm.
side note and a side news.
Mm-hmm.
And hope to see you there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, practice. If you're
Mm-hmm.
really interested, just practice the little things. That's what I did. I didn't do, I have teddy hair if you really want to become a practicing
Mm-hmm.
hypnotist or a
Mm-hmm.
hypnotherapist.
Mm-hmm.
My teacher, the one I favor, used a teddy
Mm-hmm.
for years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I would recommend. There are many, many tools. Trump Gnosis Revealed is a very short sessions,
Mm-hmm.
and that tells you a little bit. But
Mm-hmm.
there's more. There's more that you can learn. There's books. It's just practice, practice, practice.
Mm-hmm.
And watch also another of my faves is Darren Brown. Oh my God, he's so funny. He is I think he's a street hypnotist, but
Mm-hmm.
he does some amazing things. So by the next time we come on, you will know a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Right.
This is it's not it's it's a move. It's about awareness for me. So I don't
Uh-huh.
mind sharing who I've learned from
Mm-hmm.
or sharing news with you,
Mm-hmm.
upcoming events, or it's not about just selling books. It's about sharing what's going on, and so you can learn it for yourself. Just
Mm-hmm.
watch
Right.
Darren Brown. He is so awesome. He's done some pretty amazing things with embedded commands.
Yeah. So we will also be sending out emails on Richard Brandley. And so yeah, so here's the thing. So what do the viewers get by signing up to the newsletter? They can choose to keep in touch with the community, join the community of
Exactly.
movement to wake up newsletter. So it's just more than the book. It's more than
Exactly.
just reading chapter one for free. It's more than just winning the contest. It is about you choosing to keep in touch with the things that's happening around you and to educate yourself about NLP and how it is being used by various people, especially the politicians out there, and how you can make the right choice by actually knowing what's going on around yourself, right? So
Exactly.
exactly. So I'm very happy to have you here for the second week, Sophie, and I believe we will be connecting with more readers out there throughout this entire 3 weeks more. We have another 3 weeks more to go. So very excited to have you next week, same day, same time. So till then, take care and we will catch up soon next week.
Thank you. And I'm glad it worked out. We had a little
Yeah,
fun there for a minute.
it was really surprising actually,
You
to
learned a thing or two what to do when you're on
exactly.
stage and things go wrong.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So that was really really interesting, and yeah. So I hope to catch you again next week, same day, same time, and it was a pleasure to host you today, Sophie. Thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much and practice. Okay, bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye
Okay.
bye.